presentation. And after we've gone through the PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to do the demo on how the performance reviews will be done this year. And I'm hoping it's more simplified this year for you guys. You know, last year, you know, everyone gets a little stressed out with reviews. So I want to make it positive and not hard on anyone. Okay? So let's start. Performance evaluation 2015-2016. Hang on one second. So we're going to start with our PowerPoint presentation. Let me just fix something technical here. So introduction. If you look at your PowerPoint, I think everyone got it, but you can also see it on my screen. If someone cannot see it,
send a message.
Please send a message.
The chat box.
It's in the chat box. If you're not able to see or view something, please put your message in the chat box, okay? So introduction. There'll be no self-evaluations this year. So what that means is employees will not be doing a self-review. Only managers and, of course, regional managers or management above will be doing reviews this year. Evaluations will be completed by management. Review is conducted between management and employees, meaning once you have written your portion, which is manager 1, and then manager 2 would be your second manager has commented on what they want, then you will present the reviews to the employee. But we'll just keep going and we'll do a demo eventually. Signature and final comments by employee. Even though there is no self-reviews, the employee will be allowed to have a say. After you spend that time with the employee going over the review, they can either add comments to their review. They don't have to. Again, I think I want you to stress that they do not have to. They may be happy with the review. If they're not happy with the review, they may not comment either. So no one is forced to do anything, but they do have to sign and complete it in UltiPro. So again, the employee will have a voice somehow. But again, at the end, after you review with the employee their performance review for 2016-15, they still have a voice. Okay, they just don't have to go through the whole process. So let's go. So as you can see on the bottom here, there will be manager 1. I'm manager 1. I'll put myself an example. I am a manager. I am manager 1. My supervisor would be the manager 2. Okay, and the review will go back and forth. But again, I will show you that in the demo. Once manager 2 has reviewed it and added any comments or contributions, it would be sent back to manager 1. Okay? Manager 1 would then just go ahead and send it off to the employee. But final to that, you would make sure to print it out so that you can go over it with your employee. Okay? Once you've done that with your employee and you completed it, they would go ahead if they wanted to add comments in their portion of it, and then sign and complete it. And then once they sign and complete it, it's in for final submission. Okay? And again, there'll be a demo so you'll be able to see it and visualize it. Okay? So the second one is performance reviews. Goals. Last year we had goals, and if everybody remember the goals, it was Jonah's rule, the 3 E's. Okay, and how would Jonah, there was 3 of them. So again, in this one, we are going to rate them in the sense of were they completed, not completed, which you'll be able to do if a lot of you are new to this process. I know that. But through a regional manager, you'll be able, and you can access the reviews from last year. I'll let you know where to go there as well. And you can see what the goals were and see did the employee complete them or not. And if they did not, things change up in the years, things happen, you would have an explanation as to why they did not. And again, I will demo that with you as we go through the process, okay? So again, goals, review and complete from last year's expectations if applicable. If they're not applicable, you would say, you would still rate it, but you put not applicable because that person was not given any reviews. Many people will be reviewed this year that weren't around last year, okay? Competency and ratings. Separate team members based on titles, okay? Again, there's 3 templates this year. There's one for leaders, one for staff, and a new one this year that we did to simplify the process for maintenance techs on down to groundskeepers, janitors. We kind of tailored it to their their job responsibilities. So I'm hoping that you'll find that an easier process as well, okay? In the developmental comments, this is the area where you would write your comments regarding your employee. So this year, it's not, last year we had, for every competency, we had a box and you would comment on each one. This year will not be that way. You will have to just check each one off, okay? And then once you're done with the questions, you would go into the developmental comment area. And that is where you would summarize what your employee has done well this year, what they need to improve upon, what would you like to see them do. And again, remember, a review should never be a surprise to an employee. You know, you should know that it should not be a surprise to anyone if there's issues or have been issues with their performance, okay? And then you are required to write comments, and you are required to write comments in the developmental section, okay? Again, as we go on, I'll show you a demo where you would do that, okay? The review process, the system will give an overall score to your employee based on the above sections, okay? And again, once you see the demo, you'll see how it's going to rate. We took off one of the ratings, and you'll be able to see the new ones, okay? And again, you're required to go over each review with your employee one-on-one. Give your employee time. Don't rush it. Make sure you're in a moment where nothing is stressful around you. You want to give yourself to that employee all your time frame, your patience. Again, performance reviews are not easy. Some will go well, some will not. But again, you want to make sure you're there for that employee to go through everything, okay? Again, if you have questions, please, you know, where you can, on chat, make sure you message me anything you need, okay? Here are the goals from last year. If employees have goals from previous year, review and rate the completion of the based on last year's evaluation. So you have the 3 E's, which were the energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. You had Jonas Rule, treat it like it's your own. Ownership, contribution to the development of GK. Okay? Competencies. You have 2 here, one for managers and one for office employees. You have the one for managers will have actually 7 total questions, as you can see. The initiative, quality of work, communication attitude and professionalism, productivity, knowledge of work. And again, if you're a manager or above and you manage a team of employees, you'll have an extra 2, which is team management, team development, and mentorship. So if you're just an office staff in the office, you would get the first 5, initiative, quality of work, communication attitude and professionalism, productivity, and knowledge of work. Again, if you're a manager with employees under you that you supervise, 2 more questions will be added, which is team management, team development, and mentorship. Okay? So you can see the difference in here, the office employees. Again, only 5. Okay? Not bad. Competencies for field employees. We did another template. This is the one I spoke about that we did different this year, and it's new. And this would be for the maintenance tech on down. It could be a groundskeeper, a maintenance tech, a food server, caregivers, housekeepers, and so on, drivers, where we have questions like on their work product, their dependability, cooperativeness, adaptability, communication, and service to clients and public. We thought it was important since they're in a service-oriented industry. We want to see how our food servers are doing, how our maintenance techs are doing, our caregivers, our housekeepers. So those are new questions this year, just for maintenance techs, janitors, groundskeepers, and they will, all the reviews will be distributed by corresponding to their titles and what they do. Okay. The ratings, again, we took one off, which was the outstanding, and what we ended up with 4. And the ratings are exceeds expectations, meets expectations, inconsistently meets expectations, and unsatisfactory. And the ratings are the same for all employees. And again, when you go through, and again, when I do the demo with you, we'll go through each one of these. Make sure you look at how you are rating your employee. You know, do they really exceed expectations, or are they just meeting the expectations of their job, which is a good rating. Most people think that meets expectations is not as well as exceed. Well, actually, meets expectations means you are doing your job. Exceeds expectations is going a little bit outside the box, a little above the meets expectations, okay? Inconsistently meets expectations. Sometimes they do their job well, and sometimes they don't. And so that's something, you know, you could explain in the developmental comments area and what they need to improve upon. And again, there's unsatisfactory. And again, those are the 4 ratings for this year. We took 1 off from last year. Again, here are the ratings again with a little more explanation. Exceeds expectations. Employee displays a high level of performance, exceeding requirements in some areas. Meets expectations. Employee reliably maintains an effective level of performance. In other words, they're doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Inconsistently meets expectations. Employee performance is inconsistent and at times falls below acceptable levels. Again, what I meant by that, sometimes they do their job well and sometimes they don't. And then unsatisfactory, employee performance is consistently low and regularly fails to meet required outcomes. So again, after all this, and you take a good look at your person's review, your employee's review, you may think about putting your employee on a PIP, on a performance improvement plan. But that is determined usually after you've done the review, and you can evaluate it from there. Okay? Again, if you guys have any questions, please know where to send your message. The review process. Before submitting an employee's final review, take a minute to step away. One goal is for each employee to gain insight into their strengths and areas where we can all improve and be an even stronger team. Together, everyone achieves more. Schedule a meeting with each staff member ahead of time to review their performance evaluation individually. That's very important and crucial. I think it's important to give that employee your time without any interruptions from anyone. You need to give them your 100% of yourself in that time frame. So again, avoid meeting times that are busy or stressful. Don't squeeze in the review right before lunch or between another meeting. Again, that's it could be a positive review or a negative review. I never look at a review as a negative or a positive. A review is, to me, it's a tool to help an employee grow. So that's the way I look upon it. I never look at it. I look at it as a positive in all areas. So I hope you look at it the same way and you present it to your employee the same way as well. It's a tool to help them grow and fix areas that need improvement. So the review process, duration, if you can, block out an hour for your meeting. It's better to schedule too much time versus too little time. The environment, meeting in a neutral and private space. That's very important to the employee. No one wants to overhear anything that's going on regarding someone's performance review. So if you don't have an office, find a conference room or borrow an office place. That's very important and very crucial. Please do not do a performance review in front of any of the staff members. I know in the field it's kind of hard to do that because you all share an office. So maybe do it at a time when people can step away. But again, please give that attention to your employee in a private, neutral space. Turn off emails, phone, and give the employee your time and attention. Atmosphere. Discussion should support conversation and cooperation. Include open-ended questions and an opportunity for feedback. Share your feedback openly but respectfully. Thank the employee for their hard work. The review process. After the meeting, submit the review to the employee. Each employee must have ample time to log into UltiPro, myself, reviews. View their review, add any optional comments in the comment section where they're able to voice anything they like, as long as it's professional. Again, it's optional. They don't have to, so please don't ever say it's mandatory. It's not. Again, it's optional. I just want to make sure the employee has a voice if they need to have one. And then accept the review for final submission where we sign and complete. UltiPro Sample, these are just UltiPro samples to log into UltiPro. Go to your messages in the top right corner of the page. Access each employee's performance review to complete. So let's look at a sample. I'm going to walk you through the whole demo. So if you give me a sec, I'm going to actually log into my UltiPro. Bear with me. So what I want you to see here is important. You can never access the performance review that's waiting for you in your inbox in UltiPro through here at all. You won't be able to do it. If I go in here, I'm just going to show you, okay? This is what will come up. There's no way to access it at all, okay? What you have to actually do is go into your inbox, and your reviews will be there for you, okay? You can't do it through here either, where it says initiate it. Most people want to go there. Again, this is what will show up. You will not be able to access it at all. So go back into your inbox. You have to go through edit. I have no idea why, but it's been set up like that for a long time. Most people think edit, you're going to edit something. You have to actually hit edit. You click on it. And here you go. Voila. So here you can see that I've set this up for, I use Cindy, one of our HR employees, and as my guinea pig. But you'll see contributors, you'll see due dates on here. Okay, and I'll go over the due dates with you, and you'll have those due dates for when manager 1's due date is, when manager 2 due date is, and when you should be taking time to review your reviews with your employee. But all the due dates will be here. This is just a sample right now. Each one will have about 2 weeks each. Again, September 19th kicks off. You should have all your reviews in your inbox. If you're missing anyone, please let me know, and I can always distribute it to that person. But if you can start right away and not wait a full 2 weeks, it'll be great. So you can, as you finish them, send them off to your manager too. That way the process just flows. Last year, I would have to say the Royales. I'm going to congratulate you guys. You guys got on them quite quickly, and you were probably one of the first ones to get all your reviews in. So again, don't waste time. The sooner you get on it, the faster you're done, and it's off your plate. Okay. So again, here we're going to go into goals. Okay, and you would have to actually, for each area, you have to hit start. A little slow, so give me a moment. Here we go. And as you can see, last year's goals are here. Okay. What you would need to do in this one, because if you don't rate it, it will not allow you to keep going, and it will not let your review go forward. And I'll let you see how the check comes up. The little green check, that means you've completed it. So for people who were actually employees who were given these 3 goals last year, if you're able to go into the reviews from last year, you will see what goals were set for them by their community managers, their managers, and you would actually go in here in the comment area and state if they did complete those goals or not. And you would actually have to rate them by either unsatisfactory, inconsistently met them, or exceeded. Okay, because they are weighted, as you can see, goal weights are here, and they will weight it. And again, it's just to see if they were able to do it or not. If they were not able to, then say why. Yes, they did. Great, and show which goals they completed. 2, if they did not meet it, why? Things happen in the year. Things change up. Again, we're still, growing by our goals and nesting and so on. So every year we're going to get better at this. So for now, if you don't mind, again, make sure you, for goal number 1, did the employee complete their goal? Did they meet it? Did they exceed it? Was it unsatisfactory, meaning they weren't able to complete it? Inconsistently, they did your goal here and there once in a while, depending on what the goal they were given. Okay? So again, remember, you have to give it a rating, add your comments. And I would save as you go, because I'll tell you what happened last year and the year before last. People put their comments, they never saved it, and sometimes you get kicked out of your UltiPro. Going back in, they have lost everything. So every time you type something in, please make sure to save. Okay? Here we go again, and I'm just going to do a little, make sure you do. I'm going to put test. Okay? The second one is true, treat it like your own. Again, I'm just going to put meets expectations and do test. Third one is ownership. Again, I'll just put meets expectations and put test. Okay? Accidentally, I tacked one on that shouldn't be there, but I'm just going to go test. Okay? And once you're done with that, you make sure to save and close. And there you go. You see the check mark. Because what happens is if you don't rate the goals, you'll see an incomplete, and you will not see the check mark. If you don't have this check mark, your review process can't, further on, you can't complete it, okay? So the second one's the competencies, and I'd like to show you. This is what's new this year, okay? I'm using the leader one as the questions, which is a total of 7, but it's just a demo. And here we go. So they're all here. We have cooperativeness, attitude, and professionalism, initiative, knowledge of work. This is one of the ones for leaders only, mentorship and team development, productivity, quality of work, and another one for a leader, which would be a manager, team management. If you're not in that category, you would only get 5, which would be the cooperative, attitude and professionalism, initiative, knowledge of work, productivity, and that would be it. So this year, what we want you to do only is, for instance, cooperative, attitude, and professionalism. Aligns activities with department and company priorities, shows a strong level of ownership, always represents our company well, approaches team assignments with a positive attitude, accepts responsibility, welcomes constructive feedback. This year, what we would do is, all I need you to do is rate it, okay? Do they inconsistently meet this? Do they meet expectations, exceed, unsatisfactory? So I'm just going to go ahead and be positive and just do meet expectations, and that's all you would need to do here. You add no comments into the comment section here at all, okay? So all you do is make sure you hit one of these. Initiative. Regularly takes responsibility in areas beyond basic duties. Creative problem solving without being directed. Leads by example. Assumes new responsibilities when the opportunity arises. Continually raises the bar. Again, where do you feel your employee falls into? Again, is it unsatisfactory, inconsistently meets, or exceeds? Okay? So one has to do it. So I would just go with meets again. I'm going to save as we go because, again, you don't want to lose any of the stuff you actually checked off on. Number 3, knowledge of work, technical. Serves as a resident expert, shares knowledge with peers, technically adept, keeps abreast of industry trends, documents processes. Again, I'm going to put meets, and that's it. No comments in any of these boxes at all. And I'm just going to go, this is more for the mentorship and team development. This will be more for the regional managers and maintenance managers. Encourages creative problem solving, identifies the strengths of each team member, and actively generates and supports individual career development plans. Pulls and applies the best ideas from the team. Acknowledges individual team accomplishments available to the staff. Actively works to identify potential talent gaps in the organization. Committed to succession planning. Again, do they meet it? Do they exceed it? Unsatisfactory? Inconsistently? I would put that. And again, take each question one by one and kind of, fill up your thoughts on where your person or your employee falls. Then the 5th one is productivity. Again, uses time effectively, prioritizes individual tasks appropriately, results-oriented, works well without supervision, achieves desired individual results. Again, make sure to rate it. I would save it each time you do something or you add or change, save it. Number 6, quality of work. Shows accuracy, strong attention to detail, thinks ahead, effective at dealing with obstacles, recommends enhancements. Again, make sure to rate it and save, save, save. I'm just going to save, okay? You'll see it save successfully. Make sure it says that all the time. And the last one, again, if you're a leader, team management, continually raises the bar, creates a productive and inclusive work environment, creates an environment where the team is excited, respects the team, makes evident importance of each role within the team, prioritizes team tasks appropriately, provides regular constructive feedback, sets high expectations for self and team, results-oriented, delegates, has the ability to make tough decisions, handles inter-office issues effectively, without fires while maintaining team morale. So again, here you go, and then save it. Okay. So here I would save it, and I would close. And that would take you out of that part of the review. And here you go, competencies and goals. Each one has a check. Okay. Next one would be developmental comments. This is where you would actually kind of summarize the review itself. You go through each of your questions, where you might have put it meets expectations, were they inconsistent in some areas, where you feel the employee needs improvement, where you want to praise the employee. You know, and make it simple and straightforward. It doesn't have to be big words in any way, because that's the last thing you want to do. But something where it's simple. Make sure you proofread your notes. Always save and close. You don't want to lose anything that you've actually typed in there, because you'll forget. And you know, if you have to, you can go back to your reviews. You can start them, save and close. As long as you don't haven't sent them off to be signed and completed, you still have access to them. So take your time with each question. I think this year was a little different again. You just had to check each competency. But here's where a manager would comment on their employee's performance. Take the questions you rated on each employee, summarize it again, the goods, the lows, where you like to see this employee grow, where you like to see them in a year, where you need to help them. So again, you would I'm just going to put tests in here and save and close. Again, this will pop up and say successfully. The overall comments is actually optional. You don't have to put anything in that area at all. You can if you like to, but not necessary. Sorry. So again, that's if you want to add more comments, okay? But this will never be viewable by the employee. But this is just comments for you to add for yourself if you need to, okay? Not necessary, and it's not mandatory. But the developmental part of it, yes, is, okay? So what would happen here once you, let's say you've completed, you got to make sure the green checks are on the goals and on the competencies. You have to have that green check. If not, the review will not be able to process all the way through. So let's say you're done, you're ready. I put myself twice on here because I had another, Leslie, my supervisor would be here. So send forward to Sylvia Bukawa. Actually, this would have said send forward to Leslie Holloway, which is my boss, which would be manager 2. You can actually add comments in there to your manager 2 and say, please look over. You can say, please look over any comments in the look over my employee's review. Please add any comments you wish to. And what would happen is send it over to the next manager, which is manager 2. Please hit OK. It says, are you sure you want to send this review? Make sure you want to send it and hit OK. And it's sent. So it came back to me. That's why I want to make sure I put myself on there. So this would be now manager 2, and it would go on to manager 2. Like I'll use an example. Like I know some of the Royals are on there. Sue, you would be manager 1. Maria Ritchie would be manager 2. And now open it up, and here you go. If she went through the review, she can go through the goals. They could see the view. They can view all the competencies. If they have any concerns or want to add anything that they want you to add to the review, only you can add to the review. They can give you ideas and put them in their comment area for you to edit or add into your review. And let's say she was fine. They're fine with your comments. They're fine with the review. You could either send back to manager 1 to sign and complete, or they would send back to manager 1 for changes. Okay, so one or the other. Okay, if it went back for changes, it would go back for changes. You would add what they wanted you to add. Then you would send it back to manager 2, and then again, the same message here would pop up where either you send it back for changes or you send forward to Sylvia to sign and complete. So I'm done. I'm fine with everything. I would go ahead and sign and complete. Again, make sure you wanted to send this review and you want to say OK. And there we go. So this time it comes back to you. because manager 2 has sent it to you. And what you would get again would be sent to the next contributor, which would be sent to Cindy Javel to sign and complete, or any of your employees, because you're ready to send it off to them. So what I would do before you even do that, print out a copy of the performance review, and you can see print full review. You see it right here. That will show all the goals. That will show all the competencies and the ratings and developmental comments, the whole summary of what you summarized for that employee. Again, set the time frame with your employee. With an hour, it may take an hour, it may take more. It depends upon you and how it goes. Once you've gone through it and they're comfortable, you can always tell your employee to sign and complete it, but before they do that, they're able to comment on their performance review if they wish to. So you need to tell your employee they still have a voice. They can add any comments in the comment section once it's sent back to them before they sign and complete. And again, it's not mandatory. It's not, you don't have to make them do or say anything they don't want to. Some people will voice their opinions, some will not. As long as it's professional comments, there's no issues. Some people will be happy, some people will not. And even if you're not happy, they'll sign and complete it. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to have Cindy now, I'm going to have her turn on her portion part. As an employee part, I want you to see what your employee is going to see when I send it over to Cindy to sign and complete. So I'm going to send it over. I'm going to say OK. And it's out of my inbox now, as you can see. Okay, so Cindy will not be able to see hers, and she'll be able to. You'll be able to view her area of what she does now.
And Cindy's able to. We're able to see Cindy's screen, but for whatever reason, Cindy is still muted, so we might need to talk through her.
Give me 1 sec, please.
Cindy's view.
Okay, give us 30 seconds so y'all can see it from the employee's view. Okay, so 30 seconds. Bear with me, I just want you to see it for sure from the employee side, so give me 1 sec, okay?
All right, everyone, sorry about that. So basically, Cindy's going to be showing us the steps. So you guys are going to be seeing her screen right now. So she's going to jump into UltiPro, and she's going to log in using her username and password. And again, this is on the employee side. So this is after you've gone through their review, you've gone through all the steps, you've had it approved by manager 2, it's come back to you, and you've gone over it in person with the employee. Now the employee gets it sent to them, and Cindy's going to show us where they're going to go. So they're going to go down to myself, and they're going to go to reviews, and they're going to be able to see all the reviews from the history to what's in progress, and they're going to click on that blue effective date, and that's going to open up the review that's in progress. And they're going to be able to see, as we can see here, Cindy can see everything that's just gone over with her manager one.
And as you can see, I'm not going to have Cindy sign and complete it because then it will go into history, and I don't want to do that because that's not what it's going to go into Cindy's historical performance review. But if you see sign and complete, you need to make sure you work with your employees if they have difficulty. They have to click on sign and complete and make sure they do, because sometimes they click and it doesn't quite go. And once they sign and complete it, it will go into their history. This is where the employee would do their final comments if they needed to, if they wanted to. It's all, you know, again, it's optional. But this is where they would have a voice that they're sending, putting in their test. There you go. And that basically would be it. Once they do their comments, final comments, they would sign and complete it, and that's it. And they would be done. Okay? So that is basically the whole performance review process. Again, I know you guys will have questions. I will be available. HR will be available to help you and assist you with anything. You may run into trouble. You may run into technical problems. Again, do not panic. If you lose a review, we can always distribute a review. Again, look out for is that one, Monday the 19th will be the kickoff, okay? So Manager 1 has from 9:19 through 9:30 to write the reviews. Manager 2 has from 10:03 to 10:14. The due dates for Manager 1 are 9:30, September 30th. Due dates for Manager 2 are October 14th. And then from October 17th to the 28th, reviews are presented to employees.
So we've unmuted everyone, and everyone should be able to see the timeline screen right now. So Sylvia's just going to go through the timeline again, and if you guys have questions, now is a good time to write them in or to just speak up because everyone's interested.
So let me go again over here. The timeline. Again, Manager 1 writes the review, starts Monday, September 19th through September 30th. This will be the due date, September 30th. Manager 2 will have from October 3rd to October 14th, and their due date is the 14th. October 17th and October 28th, reviews are presented to employees, okay? So make sure to put in all your time frames, schedule all your employee performances for your employees, okay? So once presented, please send the review to each employee to sign and add optional comments, okay? So you please let your employee know they have a voice. Once you send it to them, let them know they can comment anything in the comment section available to them, and then they can sign and complete it once that's done. November 19th will be dates the raises take effect, okay? And they will see those raises in the 12/9/2016 first paycheck. And again, if you qualify for the raise, okay? All right? Any questions? Any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, again, if you run into issues, any problems next week, if there's anyone missing, again, not all employees, some employees are very new, so they probably will not have a review. I think anyone that's been with us 90 days or more will have a performance review sitting in there. Again, if we've missed someone, please let us know. If you have someone that's already termed, they're in there, that's okay, don't panic, and we'll take that off. And any questions, we're here for you. So I'm hoping this process will be a lot simpler. So one moment.
Sorry guys, also if we're trying to keep track of all the attendees, and if you're set up right now as an attendee and your name is GK user, we don't know who you are. So if you can send an email to training letting me know who that is, I can make sure that we have you checked off on the attendance list so we don't bombard you with emails asking you to sign up for another webinar. So make sure, again, if your name is GK user, there's 3 or 4 of you on there, just send an email to training or to Michelle, and I will make sure I check you off the list.
I have a question. For Manager 1, would that include ourselves?
Are you a community manager?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are Manager 1.
Okay.
Manager 2 would be your regional.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Any more questions?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can I be heard?
I'm sorry, what is your question?
I came on late because I had a real problem, and I think I'm under GK user, so I had IS sign me on, and I came on late.
And what is your name?
Gloria Nelson, Olive Tree.
Hey, Gloria, yeah, I got you. I'll add you to the list. Thank you.
And thank you. I have more questions because I was interrupted so many times. I have repair people coming, people banging on my door. I may want to just sign on again tomorrow so I can listen through.
That's fine. That's okay. We can do that.
Gloria, I'll send you the invite with all the information, and if you need anything else, just give me a ring, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem,
And that was
Gloria.
Michelle, by the way. Okay.
I thought so. Hi, Michelle.
Hey,
Okay.
Gloria.
Any more questions? Are we good? Okay, if there are any more questions, you can always email me or Michelle, and we'll be available to you all next week. I'll be available to you throughout the whole process, so don't panic, okay? We'll be there for you, okay?
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.